hear some strange noises in the background, I'm in my bathroom at the moment and I don't know how to turn the extractor fan thing off. So you can probably hear that in the background, and I will probably be a bit echoey as well. I've got this full face of makeup on because I've just filmed this makeup look. So I will link it up here if that's already gone up before this video so you can watch. This is going to be a really quick video teaching you how to clean your makeup brushes. Obviously I've just filmed this, so I have a bunch of dirty brushes and some with really dark colours on and this bright kind of bluey green colour as well that I've got on my eyes. It's really important to keep your brushes hygienic and clean. We wash our brushes when we've been using them for work on clients at the end of every single day, and we clean them after every single client with isopropyl alcohol as well, just to make sure that they are all hygienic and good to use on clients' faces. So I'll show you really quick and easy way that we give these a deep clean at the end of the day. I just want to give you a little bit of a close-up as to how dirty these are and how dark the colour is. They've got quite a lot of foundation, powder, eyeshadow pigment on these, and they are light coloured bristles, so we do like to get those as nice and clean looking as we possibly can. So the way that I clean my brushes when I am deep cleaning is by using a baby shampoo. You do have to be really careful on the bristles of these brushes. For the most part, these brushes are very expensive, so we do need to look after them and make sure that we're being careful and using gentle products on them to make sure that they're not damaged. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. I have just poured some of the baby shampoo into the palm of my hand, wet the brush, and then I am just massaging in with my hand. If you have really stubborn makeup that has been left on your brushes for a certain amount of time, for a few days, for a few weeks, maybe even if you haven't washed your brushes for a long time, you may need one of the little scrubby pads. They're really cheap to buy. You can get them on Amazon. They're just kind of a silicone scrubby pad that you can brush your brush against, and it just causes a little bit of friction and helps to get all of the dirt out of the inside of the brush. Because these are newly used and the products have only just been put on there, just gently massaging that in will help to really remove any of the dirt and the pigment. Once you've massaged the shampoo in and you can see that it's removed most of the pigment, I wash that through in the water until the water runs clean, and then I'll squeeze the end and kind of reshape the bristles so they dry in a point. And then I'm just showing you how it's so important to make sure that you lay the brush flat. And underneath the water, you don't want to be holding the brush up so the water runs down that metal part of the brush. You need to make sure that you're always washing it with the brush pointing downwards, and don't then put your brushes in a pot standing up to dry. You need to make sure they're laid flat, so any remaining water that is still in the bristles has the opportunity to run out and not run down into the metal part of that brush. So don't stand it up like that, you need to lay it down flat. Quite often I hear horror stories of people washing their brushes in the washing machine, which is great if it works for you, but I would never recommend that personally. I have so many expensive makeup brushes, which I'm sure you guys do too, and it's not something that I'm wanting to replace unnecessarily. So the reason that I don't wash them in the washing machine is that the water can then run straight into that metal part, which is called the ferrule. That's the place where the glue actually is to keep all the bristles together. As soon as water starts dripping into that area, you run the risk of that dissolving and melting away the glue, and then your bristles can fall out and your brush is ruined. So it's just not something that we do. Just try and make sure that you always dry them facing downwards so the water can run out, or flat, and then you should be safe. Decent makeup brushes are such an investment, and they are an absolute staple. They are something that is necessary, but I do believe that once you have purchased good brushes, there shouldn't be a need to replace those. So I believe in buying good quality brushes to start with, spending a little bit of money and making sure that you maintain them and look after them, especially if you're working on clients. It's absolutely necessary that these are cleaned between every single client properly. We also like using IsoClean, which is a really brilliant product to make sure that if you do have any stubborn, colourful marks on your brushes, you can use that first to get rid of most of the colour and then wash them this way too. But it is also important, if you're using your brushes only for your own personal face, that you are looking after them too. Foundation can get clogged up in foundation brushes very, very quickly, and that is quite hard to remove. So just keeping on top of that will keep them nice and hygienic. It also helps to minimize the risk of getting any breakouts on your skin. If you feel like you're getting more breakouts than usual and they tend to be on your cheeks, more often than not, that is because your makeup brushes are holding on to bacteria and they are spreading that across your skin. So by simply keeping on top of the cleaning of your brushes, you can help eliminate those breakouts that you may be getting. Something to also bear in mind is that you do need to allow time for these brushes to dry properly all the way through. So what I would do is, after you've used them in the morning or in the evening before you go to bed, cleaning them then, leaving them overnight to dry, and then they should be dried and ready for you to use again the next morning. As mentioned before, when you squeeze the water out, make sure you squeeze them into a point, and that just forms them into a nice position, ready for them to dry like that, instead of kind of them all being splayed out. So we want them to dry into a nice point. So I think you can really see here what a difference that's made. So all of the brushes that are meant to be white are back white again. These are wet at the moment. I'll leave them on that towel to dry overnight and they'll be ready by the morning. I really hope that's helped you, and I will see you next time.